insane workouts and training camp routines of Fraser Pryce, Asha Smith, Briana Williams, Gabby Thomas, MUNJINGA KAMBUNDJI, and more. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now go ahead, please hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow. And when you do that, please go in and hit the notification bell so you know when the next amazing video drops. And we do a video here every day on Peter Lloyd World. Also, please hit the like button. The algorithms on YouTube absolutely love the engagement. And it's perfectly free. So if you enjoy our content, hit the like button. And finally, please leave a comment. I would love to know your thoughts on these remarkable workout techniques from some of the world's greatest sprint female talents. Una ready? Yep, good to go. Like most things, we tend to see the end product of the athlete. We see the accolades, we see them winning the awards. But I thought it would be interesting to share with you some of the training techniques of some of the world's greatest female sprinters. Up first is the amazing Megan Tapper. Now, if you are not in the know, Megan Tapper came third at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics in the women's 100-meter hurdles, becoming the first female of the English-speaking Caribbean to win a medal at the Olympics. Megan Tapper stands, I think, 1.56 meters, which makes her about 5 feet 1.4 inches. So as a hurdler, she is tiny. And what fascinated me about her and her training techniques is that, people, Megan Tapper is a beast. At 5 foot 1 inch, she is perhaps the smallest, most petite global superstar in women's 100-meter hurdle sprints. Now, the thing is, I don't know if you realize this, but this is not light weights that Megan Tapper is pushing. This is some serious weight. Obviously, she's doing squats, and this is for strength and upper body. What you're seeing here, that's to develop her glutes, lower back, abs. Now, you may or may not know this, but Megan Tapper in her earlier life was a gymnast, which explains the balance. And she said in a recent interview that she started out with a love for gymnastics and then she absolutely hated it and went into sprints. Now, being 5 foot 1 and vaulting those hurdles at that tremendous speed is no easy task. Hurdlers tend to be shorter, and this may be the reason why she spends and her coach spends so much time building her upper body strength. She does a lot of gym work, as you can see, and Megan Tapper is ripped, people. You can see that. That's no easy task. That builds your back and your biceps as well as your shoulders. That's a full upper body workout, and this is like a standard thing. That's for explosive speed. She said in a recent Instagram tweet, "Coach saw me kill the pull-ups last week, and like everything else in life, he made it harder. But as I said before, if life could be this easy, I'd be a pro." It's also evident when you watch her workout that she absolutely loves what she's doing. But now this blew me away, people. So this exercise not only builds your upper body but your core, and it's not easy for her to do that. You realize she's holding that heavy ball between her legs, so she has to be holding that heavy ball between her thighs. That she's working her entire body. That's a hard exercise. That blew my mind. Next up is MUNJINGA KAMBUNDJI. KAMBUNDJI represents Switzerland. She is perhaps their most successful young female sprinter, both in the 100 and 200 meters, and recently won the 200 meters at the one of the Diamond Leagues earlier this year. Now, the other thing I decided to do in sharing this with all of you was I tried to find pictures where you could see the impact of their workouts on their body. KAMBUNDJI also goes hard when she works out. She recently tweeted, one of my favorite training, even if there's still a lot of work on my acceleration. Now, what we're going to show you, I think it's really, really interesting. But apparently she does this, and she and her coaching staff, they do this to build their acceleration. And what you'll see is she has a string behind her that's pulling weight, and she explodes all out. I just found this fascinating, people. This is another one. This is also for explosive speed. It builds your glutes, your legs, balance, hips. This is also for explosive speeds. Obviously, since most of the people, well, all the persons we are featuring in this particular episode are speedsters, that explosion, that exercise like that to build the glute, etc., are very, very important, and to build leg speed, leg strength. But this, yep, she hits the gym also, and those are not lightweights, people. Same thing again, that explosive jump thing. A lot of them do this, but it's all about building leg speed, ab, glutes, core. So now this I found really interesting. I suspect, if anybody knows better, you should tell me. I do work out, but I suspect this has to do with balance, because your hip movement is also really, really important in running. You have to have hip flexibility. Your hip flexors are really important. So it's not just about leg speed, it's about flexibility, endurance. So all of what you see her doing here, see her running in between the cones, it's about flexibility. Someone who's much more of an expert, if you want to leave a comment, I would greatly appreciate it. But it's the same thing here, that explosive speed. So if you realize, she concentrates mostly on her lower body. She does do workouts, but her lower body is key. Now I included this because this is our very own Shericka Jackson, and you all know we absolutely love Shericka Jackson here on Peter Lloyd World. But I thought this was very, very interesting because this is a session of her doing physiotherapy. Now, athletes, physiotherapy is also extremely important, especially if they're injured and they're trying to recover, or there's a slight muscle strain or something. If you don't know, Shericka Jackson recently won at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. She won a gold medal in the women's 4x1 on the team. She won a bronze medal in the women's 100 meters, and she won a bronze medal in the women's 4x400 meters, making her Jamaica's most diverse and highly accomplished young female athlete. Simply remarkable. She had also won a bronze medal, if you remember, at the World Championships in was it 2016? 2019. So this is one of her sessions, and I want you to listen to the Instagram post. Thanks for helping me on this wonderful journey. Together we achieve. Repost from Yaya.thephysio. What at Shericka Jacko has done at the Olympics is nothing short of phenomenal. This time last year, Shericka was unable to run or train because of painful stress fractures in her shins, which were not healing. She came to me in September, and we started putting in the work. In April, an X-ray showed no signs of fractures, meaning the fractures had been fully healed. To God be the glory. Now she's a 3-time Olympic medalist with a versatility that's unmatched and a bright future ahead. So proud and grateful to have been a part of the journey. And I'm basically going to shut up so you can see some of the work being done on her here. I mean, recovery from injury is a really important thing for an athlete, and a physiotherapist is key in the process. Any athlete who is a pro and who's at the top of their game will tell you that they have a great physio working with them. remember she said the fracture was in Sharika's heels. I just wanted to share that with you. I just thought you would find that really interesting. So next up is, of course, Briana Williams, who don't know well of Briana Williams. Briana Williams is the record holder of the under 20 100 meter women's record here in Jamaica, having ran that at Miramar in Miami early this year. She ran 10.97, and she booked her spot at the for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, coming fourth in the women's 100 meters, and ended up running the starting leg on the women's 4x100 meters, which became the second fastest 4x100 meters women in recorded history. And winning a gold medal, of course, Briana ran an incredible first leg. The evidence is there for you all to see. And again, that thing about that explosive speed, this is really important. Almost all the female athletes that I checked out for this do this particular thing. And this is not an easy task, people. I mean, that's some serious height. To me, look at it, Briana Williams could start doing high jump. And of course, the explosive speed, very, very important. I couldn't find anything of her doing weight training. I'm not sure if she does or she doesn't. But I just wanted to show you again. I'm showing you pictures of how they look, the impact of all that training on their bodies, as well as their talent and their athletics. Briana is a remarkable talent at 19 years of age, a true overachiever who has won so many, broken so many national records and won so many global awards. It is almost unbelievable. So I just wanted you to, well, this is one of her tweets. I didn't get here by wishing for it or hoping for it, but by working for it. Great day on the hills with my training partner for years. I wish you continued success at Alabama track. Overseas an athlete, Gasherano. Thanks to Bolden for literally running with us to get this awesome video. Laugh out loud. On my feet are my Nike Pegasus 37 that I designed. Oh, I didn't even know she designed a Nike track shoe. That's pretty cool. So she's doing hills here. She's sprinting the hills. This is not easy. This also is really great for explosive speed. This is a full entire body workout. You can see her technique is pretty solid. It's not hard running fast uphill. All right, everything is in slow-mo, but that is not an easy process. And apparently she does this very, very often. I found this very interesting, but I know that this is something that athletes do in general. These hill runs at top speed, and you can see her going for gold. And what I also noticed is that she trains with men, with a man. And that's really, really great for her as a female athlete. It pushes her beyond her regular limitations. And people, I'm not saying that, I'm not doing that comparison, but the fact is most of the top female athletes do work out with other men. Many of them actually do that. Next up is the very, very interesting techniques of Gabby Thomas, the Jamaican, who no find an argument about, but yes, her papa Jamaican, and so she's Jamaican, and she born in America, but her mother's American, her father Jamaican, she's Jamaican. Gabby Thomas, as you know, you should know, is now the third fastest woman in recorded 200 meter history, having ran, I'm going to try to do this out of my head, 21.61. I need to go back and check that, but I think that's what the time she ran. She ran this incredible time in winning the finals for the Olympic trials in Hayward Field in the United States in Oregon earlier this year, 21.61 at 24 years old. The third fastest 200 meter in history, people. That's a remarkably fast time. Now, the truth is, Gabby Thomas has a very, very interesting perspective in terms of how she views athletics, which we'll talk about. She does do weights, as you can see, It looks like she's working both on strength, stamina, and balance here. These jumps, it's the same thing. And she does this thing that all the female athletes do. I think many of the male athletes do. This I found interesting. She does a lot of balance type work. I guess the small things, the tinier things, are very very important, as well as the strength. She tweeted, this is a at posturing appreciation post. Sean comes out to the track each day to help with posture management. It helps the body foster alignment and proper function, makes training less stressful, and leads to improved performances and less injury. As a sprinter, the little things go a long way. Sharing a few of the exercises I do before workout, struggling a bit on a few of these. And this was really interesting to me. This was pretty fascinating. I mean, this blew my mind, to be honest with you. This is almost kind of like what we do in yoga, but there's much more happening here. And it's like I said, your hip flexors are really important as a sprinter, as a runner, and you can see they're working on everything, back, etc. But it's those tiny little elements, and I found this really interesting because I had never seen this. I'm not a sprinter. I see him using it. I don't know if he's using. I guess he's using those electrodes to figure out what she's doing wrong. She's a Harvard graduate, and in an article that was written by World Athletics, she made some very, very interesting pronouncements about her training techniques. With the help of Harvard coach Kaba Talbert, Thomas explored the relationships between science and athletic performance. With track and field, everyone knows so much of it is mental, but a lot of it has to do with your brain chemistry too, she said. My coach focused a lot on meditation. It does change your brain chemistry over the long term. So we would do that before hard workouts and before every competition. If you can calm your nervous system down, it affects how well you can train. I found this really interesting because I had never heard an athlete speak about their training from this perspective, but maybe that's why she's a Harvard graduate, right? Very different. In bodybuilding, you do learn about the mind-body connection, willing the muscle to move. And I do think that actually works. We're seeing some of her training techniques here. They're having fun while they're doing it. I really wanted to share that with you because that was just such a very different perspective. And although you realize that some of the athletes, they do share some of the same techniques, they're all very different. I suspect what happens is they find the exercise that works best for them and their coaching staff as well as themselves come together and come up with something that is unique for them. And I think that's why coaching is so very, very important. But her perspective was a very refreshing one and one that I could relate to. I just hope you guys found it as fascinating as I do. I mean, some people might even think it's insane, the concept of meditating before you work out. Dope, right? Then, of course, there's the other British American, Dina Asher Smith, the UK's fastest woman, winner of the 2019 200 meter World Championship award. And I personally think someone who should not be underestimated in Oregon, the World Championships in Oregon in 2022. Just reminding you all that she was severely injured before the Olympics this year, and that's why she performed at that level. She is about the detailing, the tiny things. She says in her tweet, it's all in the details, and you can see tiny movements. Very tiny movements. Now, of course, that's not her entire workout, but I just wanted to focus on the things that I thought were kind of interesting and different. And some people might even say strange because it might look very, very, because we are used to seeing athletes running in terms of training. And I'm trying to introduce you all to the fact that there's so much more that happens in this process. And this is something she was doing, I think, during the pandemic, but she was still working out and sharing her workouts with other persons. The same thing, this builds speed, glutes, legs, lower back, abs. Of course, because you're on your arms, you're still working your upper arms just to keep your body upright. And it's not easy for her to be sprinting for that length of time, people. It's not as easy as it looks. Clearly healthy, clearly fit. I used to do a version of this, but I couldn't last more than 10 seconds, people. I don't even know if I did last for 10 seconds. But I just thought you would have been fascinated by that thing she was talking about, details and tiny movements, etc. And you can see here again, hip flexibility, really, really important for male and the female sprinters, not just female sprinters. If you want me to do another one like this with some of our top male sprinters, let me know and I'll get it done. I just wanted to approach, something refreshing and different that I thought you guys might find interesting. Now, I saved the best for last, people, because this young lady is the beast. She is the beast of all beasts. Beasties. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the world's second fastest woman, who earlier this year ran a phenomenal 10.63 at the National Stadium. And then in the Diamond Leagues, shocked the world, beating Elaine Thompson-Herah, the world's fastest living woman, running a phenomenal 10.60, all while at the age of 34. And let me tell you something, Shelly-Ann, no player. That ain't lightweights. And Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is also like a Megan Tapper. She is tiny. So Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is actually 1.52 meters, which makes her significantly smaller than Tapper. That means that Shelly-Ann is 4 feet 11.8 inches. And she is one of the greatest sprinters of all time. Some people argue the greatest female sprinter of all time. So I just wanted to show you, this is her warming up, the stretch routine before. We've done numerous videos here on Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. I'll leave some links for some of them, but arguably one of the most decorated 100 female athletes in history. I think she's won 8 Olympic medals and 11 or 13 World Championship medals. And she recently became the first woman to win a medal in 5 or 4 Olympic 100-meter finals. I'm gonna have to go double check that, but I know it's 1. It's either 5 or 4. You may or may not know this, but she is going to be running in Oregon next year, and she's thinking of running in 2024 at the Olympics. She goes hard, people. She's one of the athletes who freely shares her training. This is her running uphill. She goes Fraser-Pryce is a beast. There's no doubt about that, and it explains why she's so successful at what she does as an athlete. So I know this has been a relatively long video, but I just thought you guys would be interested in seeing some of the greatest female athletes, sprinters in particular, and some of their some of it seemingly insane, very different training routines that works for them. All right, please remember to hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. Also, it's really, really, really important that you hit the like button. YouTube no longer has you can't hit dislike anymore. So we need the engagement. It's really important to hit the like button, people. And plus, it's completely free to hit that like button. And leave a comment. Let me hear your thoughts on some of these insane stuff that we just saw these amazing athletes do. If you have any personal experiences as an athlete yourself, or if you know anything about these training techniques and you want to educate us, please go ahead and do so. You guys are so very, very track smart, and I often learn. So thank you for, your time. Remember, you're kings and queens. Your greatness personified. Avoid negative people. Avoid loud people. And what we always say, bless up. Yeah.